Well, Happy New Day, CSA. I welcome those of you who are here to today's lesson sermon, the day after the wedding. I want to use this opportunity to thank all CSA ministers for the wonderful work that they've been doing all these years, assisting me with the lesson sermons on Sundays. I also wish the best for our newly wed members, the couple, a very prosperous and loving future in their married life. So today, our topic is success on the spiritual path. Keys to success on the spiritual path. You know, a key opens a door, and we are told that we must ask, and it shall be given us. We must seek, and we will find, and knock, and it shall be opened unto us. The spiritual path on which we are is not a try and see thing. There are specific principles which, when applied, shows results. And this particular tradition has mapped them out. And the keys are self-discipline, proper study of the nature of consciousness, and surrender of the ego in favor of God realization. Let us take a look at the first, self-discipline. Self-discipline simply is training ourselves, self-training, to abide by the principles that we want to embody. It is not self-punishment. You know, a lot of people try to dodge self-discipline. But is training yourself to be punctual a good thing? Yes, I know. Is training yourself to pray every day and to meditate every day good? Yes, it is. And so, if we must be successful on the spiritual path, the consistency in training ourselves is very, very necessary. It must be a consistent thing. Look, you know, they will put poison in front of you every day, and you will refuse to drink it every day. The day you drink the poison, what happens? It contaminates your body and it can be fatal. And so self-discipline must be continuous until we leave this body. But so long as we are in this body, self-discipline is very, very essential. When we look at study, what are we to study? We are to study the nature of consciousness. You are conscious of yourself in this world, aren't you? When you look out, you see the world, you see yourself, And it is like a contest between you and the world. That is why some people say life is war. A contest between you and yourself. But it is not a contest to see who score more goals. But it is actually a contest with yourself. He says, examine yourselves, know ye not that Christ Jesus is in you, except you fail to pass the test. In the old Bibles, it says, except these telephones. That is one of the self-disciplines. When you are coming in here, either turn your phone off or leave your phone in your car, or don't bring your phone here at all. But you see, are you coming to listen to a call, or you are coming to listen to a lecture? You must choose one and leave the other. And so it says, except ye be reprobates. Reprobates. If you fail to pass the test, you are a reprobate. What are you? If someone asks you, what are you? What will you tell the person? Not who are you, because it may mislead you. When I ask you who are you, think I'm a father or a son or your name or your title. But what are you? It's as your essence. What do you think is your essential nature? See, if you do not find out what you are, you may be living in this world and they will tell you that you are a sinner and you believe it. They will tell you that you need to be saved and you believe it. They tell you so many things and you believe it. Because the question that I will ask you is that, what do you need to be saved from? If you think you are a sinner, then you need to be saved. Because a sinner is a mistake, someone who commits mistakes. Are you always committing mistakes? Then you don't know what you are. But if you know what you are, you find out that you are more than a human being. In fact, the word human even gives us the clue. Human, the word hue in some instances means God, hue, and man. So you are a God-man being, you know? And if you are a God-man being, how do you know that? You have to remember that all good spiritual teachers teach that God is within each person. God is all there is. Everything that you see out here has been produced by God. It is the energy of God expressing us. We say God is and expresses us. When you want to find out what you are, you have to start with your environment. And your environment, your immediate environment is your body. Find out whether you are your feet, your legs, your thighs, and come up. When I say your, it belongs to you. So you are not it. You understand? And then your mind, I mean, something which changes all the time cannot be you. What is your permanent nature? And then you go to your emotions, energy in motion. Your emotions are energy, emotion, which takes your thoughts. It's like it gives meaning to your thoughts. Because when you have a thought of fear, your emotions makes you feel it. And then we go to your dream body. You see your body in dreams. Sometimes it can fly. Sometimes it is chased. Things happen to it just as in this waking state, it happens to your body. So you are also not your body. In your deep sleep there, you don't see anything. But when you wake up, you know that you slept deeply. But there is an aspect of you which is the witness of your environment, including your body, which is the witness of your thoughts, your feelings, and your deep sleep. Nowadays, this thing that we used to paste in homes, I don't see them in homes anymore. Christ is the head of this house, the unseen guest at every meal, the silent witness to all our conversations. You know, that defines what you are. Now, this house, this house, the reigning king is the witness, the unseen guest, the silent witness. And so you awaken, and that is spirit. Spirit is not manifest. Spirit is like, like that's all we can say. Spirit is. It is not this color, that color. It is not white, it is not black, it is not green, it is not blue. It just is. And that spirit, which is the witness of everything that we experience, but is not involved in them, it is our attention that becomes involved with things. But our spiritual nature just is. Now, when we ask ourselves, what or where have I come from? You know, you first said, what am I? And you find out that you are a spiritual being. And then you ask again, what is God? Not who is God, huh? But what is God? Where have I come from? A lot of people want to go to heaven, but no one wants to die, they say. But you have to die to go to heaven, eh? But you can go to heaven every day, every time. You can live in heaven here and now. You turn within to experience the presence of God as you. See, when God was creating the universe, and he got to man and said, let us create man in our own image and after our likeness. The Elohim, the plural aspect of God. And so the body was created. And that is the energy of God expressing us. But the Spirit of God, that image of God, if God is to stand in front of a mirror to look at his image, will he see a man? It will see only spirit. And spirit is not manifest. So sometimes when I hear people say they are going to the beach to call spirit, I say, Namukra de Benham, you are going to call spirit. For where? But you can call on your own essence and experience it. Or maybe we should say imperience, not experience. Because X is to see outside. Imperience is to experience, know it within. And then where do you go from here? Or what have you come into this world to do? You know, this thing, what have you come into this world to do? It has not really rung in the hearts of a lot of the youth in this country. When in my early 20s, I think I was 20 or 21, I was in the US, and it was in 1973, 74. And there was a group known as Earth, Wind and Fire. I loved their music very much. And so I was used to listening to their music. And as I listened to their music, one day I was lying on the couch listening to their music, and the song was titled Devotion. It says, through devotion, blessed are the children. Praise the teachers that bring true life to many. Your devotion opens all of life's treasures and deliverance from the fruits of evil. Then the next verse says, so our mission is to bring a melody, ringing voices, sing sweet harmony. And I said, if these people have found their mission as playing music and singing sweet melodies, is my mission only to buy their albums? You see? And that pricked my conscience. I said, so me too, what did I come into this world to do? And that opened the can of worms. It opened the can of worms. I sat down, I took a sheet of paper and drew a line in it. On the right side, I wrote, or on the left side, I wrote all the things which will not help me in this life. And I wrote on the right side, all the things which will let me know God and also live my life. And I tore the paper in two and trashed the left one because I didn't need it. I needed to focus on the things that will help me to know God. And you know, not long after that, about a week after that, after I did that, I pasted it on my bathroom mirror. I went with a friend to a shop. It was like a drugstore and it sold books and other things. And as I went to pick what I wanted to buy, I was with a friend of mine called Cookie. Cookie was behind me, and when we came out of the shop, she gave me a book. And I said, what is this book for? He said, oh, the way you have been behaving these days, I think you need this book. And so I bought it for you. I looked at it and it said, Yoga for Health. Well, I said, all right. Then I started reading the book. It was in the book that I found out about meditation. I found out about healthy living or healthy lifestyle. So I started and I started my own business. And after some time, I saw that my whole world came crashing. My best friend took my car to go and chase girls, and the neighbor who went to chase the girls, they were after him, and he ran and left the car. So they put salt and sugar into the petrol. When you start the car, it will lock the engine. The car stayed there for about a week or two because I was looking for him, I couldn't find him. He had run to his neighborhood in Northeast Washington, D.C., and I couldn't find him. I called his sister. His sister said they have also not found him. And finally, I went to the police, and the police directed me to a pound yard where they said the car had been towed to. When I got there, the man said, well, if I take out all the bills and other things on the car, I can give you only $500. I said, oh, but this car is worth more than that. He said, well, then you pay the bills that I have paid, and then I can give it to you. Every day that the car stayed there, I said, a G rent. I put my car in a hotel. And after I accepted, he gave me the 500. He said, go and start the car and see. I started the car, I almost wept. But he had given me the $500. There was nothing I could do. I walked home. Then I had a girlfriend. She also, I thought I had the best thing in this whole world. I was not, like I had my own business. I had stopped work. And this girl was the one who was bringing money. And every once in a while, she showed me a picture of herself and an older looking man and said, that's my old man. So I thought that was her father. Not knowing it was an Arab guy who she was dating. And one Friday when she left, I was sleeping in her house. And then in the night, the same Friday night, I was lying there and I heard the door, some noise at the door. There was a baseball bat in the room that she kept because she used to stay there alone. If anyone ventured, she would just pick the baseball bat and hit the person. So I looked, it was just by the side of the bed. I pulled the baseball bat back to my side and I saw a lady walk in. She came and sat by the bed and looked at me. I, I was seeing her, but I pretended I was asleep. And then she shook me. When I woke up, she asked me, do you love me? And I said, what kind of nonsense is this? Don't ask me whether I love you because if I didn't love you, I wouldn't be sleeping in your house. I have my own apartment where I can sleep. You are not here and I'm sleeping here alone. When you come to see a lady with me? And then she said, Oman says that he wants to marry me. I went to see him and he says he wants. I said, which old man? He said, old man. I said, hey. Then I left the place. I went to my own house. She pleaded with me and I said, no. And she told me that the old man said she should bring me so that he can pay me off. He will pay me off. And that was when she revealed to me that he was an Arab. I said, you are going to sell me to an Arab. He says I should, he has a clothing shop. They sell suits too. And he said when we are coming, we should pass by the shop and they should put a suit on me. I said, you want to put lead into my pockets and when you drop me, I'll fall on a river and that will be the end. Minko, I've left. And then another thing also happened. My best friend, during that time that I was leaving, my best friend, when I formed my own company, I used him as an American so that we can have a partnership. But he didn't pay anything, I paid everything. And we went to a radio station known as WHUR, Harvard University Radio. And we saw the people there and they directed us to a World Bank affiliate where they gave people from lesser, I would say lesser countries, loans to up their business. And they slated us for $20,000. At that time, $20,000 sounded like 2 million to me. And all we needed was to have 10% of that in our account so that we could access the money. And I told my friend, well, you bring 1,000 and I'll bring another 1,000. So I went to see my brother and asked him to bring 1,000 so that we can have two, we'll be three partners and I could bring two home and then give my best friend one. And my best friend got greedy, he wanted it all for himself. And so he started behaving, in some way. So I had taken my papers that I had to sign and everything to a safe deposit box at the bank with my school certificates and everything. I put them there. And I came home. And so when I came back that Friday night, I was in the house when I had a knock on the door. When they knocked on the door, I asked, who is it? He said, just open the door. I opened the door and there was a policeman. I asked, what is the problem? He said, well, you have to report at the Fairfax County Police. Before I could say Jack, I was in the police car. They are taking me to Fairfax County. And I was thinking, is it a ticket? What? I was put there, and whilst in there, I had an experience which really rocked me. See, over the weekend, they bring all manner of people to the cells. I was in a cell by myself, and then they brought a hippie-looking man. But when he came, he was with the police, and when he entered, he gave me a handkerchief. He said, "Your father says I should give you this." And at that time, my dad was in the US. So I just took it and put it down. I said, "If you won't come and bail me and you are sending me white handkerchief, what am I going to do with the white handkerchief?" And then after some time, they came and took the man away. But when he was going away, you see, when he came, he went and stood by the bars in the cell, and he was like talking to himself. So I didn't even pay attention to him. But when he was being taken away, he turned and he looked at me. And, the image that we have of Jesus. I said, "Hey, so I had this experience. I couldn't, it was like my mouth had been sealed. I couldn't talk." The next day, they released me. When I got home, everything I had been stolen. Everything I had been stolen. It was my best friend who had come with friends to come and steal the papers for the bank so that he could go and get the money. And I got mad. I said I was going to kill him. So I called his sister. I said, "Sister, you see that brother has come to steal everything. All my clothing were gone. Everything. They ransacked the house. Even my cooking utensils, I found just two cooking utensils there. And they took everything to go and search through to see if they will find the papers." And later on, he came and brought me back some of my clothing. But when he came, he was wearing the shirt and trousers and shoes he was wearing were mine. Well, what can I do? I let him off. And I said to myself, it is better for me to come back to Ghana. So I sent my mom a message that she should get me a ticket. And in about a week or so, I received a Ghana Airways ticket and boarded home in Ghana. It was when I came to Ghana that I discovered Roy Eugene Davis. See, we have in Christianity God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. In the East, the Indians have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer. And we have something known as the Shiva effect. When you want to start like a farm, and you go to the farm and it has only weeds, you clear the weeds and then you plant what you intend to grow. And the Shiva effect is that everything that is bad in your life, it will clear it away and then lead you to plant the seeds that you want to grow in the farm. And so I experienced the Shiva effect. My car and everything that had gone were cleared away from my life so that I could live a new life. And that new life really brought me to where I am today. I found God through Roy Eugene Davis. And I went to see him in Lakeland, Georgia, in the US. And he trained me and sent me back to this country to begin this ministry. And the rest is the history that I have with you. So, to be successful on the spiritual path, you need self-discipline. You need proper study of the nature of life and then surrender. You see, when, like recently, America is bombing Iran. Iran is refusing to surrender and it's still a war. But when you see a higher power that is more than yours, you surrender to it. And in life, when God holds you by the jugular, you have to surrender to it. God will not come to hold you by the jugular, but you go through something, you say, look, God, with my bread, do what you want with me. So I wrote a song with such an amazing love. You caught me in your web of truth. I can't find no way of escape. So I surrender. How can I know the truth of life if you, the truth of life, remain unknown? Thou art my love, my God, my all, so I surrender. When you see that God's stake in your life is higher than your stake, you have to surrender to God. It is very, very essential to succeed. Because if you don't surrender, your sense of separation will puff you up. And like Humpty Dumpty, you have a great fall. You see, everyone who thinks that I am me, I can do, they have a great fall. Military people, civilian people, pastors, in every sphere of life. If you begin to get bigger than your trunks, you fall. And so, self-discipline, train yourself to focus on the ideal. The ideal is seek ye first the kingdom of God. And then you study, you find yourself. When you find yourself and you find God, and you find why you are in this world, and you know that you have come from God and you go back to God, there is no fear of going to hell if you follow this path. There is no fear because you know what you are. You know that you are made in the image and likeness of God. Me, I cannot see anyone who knows who or what he is ever thinking of going to hell or ever thinking of going to heaven. You are with God and God is your life. End of story. And so I will urge each and every one of you to follow this path of self-discipline, proper study of the nature of life, and surrender to God. For that is why we are in this world. And that has come with the story of part of my life. For the rest of the story of part of my life, the rest of my life, come next Sunday. Come next month. Every first Sunday of the month, I share something.